Welcome to the raw and uncensored Ambitchious Podcast. During our time here together, I will be instilling all of the strength, power, and determination you will need to use the very stones thrown at you to build your ultimate empire. We will redefine the word bitch from the derogatory to the acronym being in total control of herself. So let's adjust our crowns and prepare to live life ambitiously. Yeah, here I am, the original HBIC, Katie motherfucking Boyd. And on today's episode of the Ambitchious Podcast, are you a drama queen? Are you having chaos every day in your life and you're creating all your motherfucking problems? You may be driving in the car right now, or you may be pushing your baby in the stroller, or you may be at a Starbucks getting a cup of coffee and you're listening to me and you're like, bitch, who the fuck do you think you are calling me a drama queen? Who are you to say that I am addicted to chaos and addicted to crazy? Well, I'm here to say that you may be, because I was once you, and I am a 100% reformed drama queen. And every so often I fall back into that craving for chaos and drama and turbulence and tumultualness. You know what I'm fucking talking about. All the things I just said. And I catch myself doing it every so often. But before I became the HBIC, before I started the Ambitchious movement, I thrived off of chaos. And I would actually wear it as a badge of honor. I would be like, oh, I work really well under pressure. Or, you know, all of my relationships are fucked up and everything is crazy and the world is crazy and people are crazy and everyone around me is crazy. But the truth of the matter is that I was the crazy one, because I was totally 100% addicted to drama because of the way that I grew up. And we're going to get into all of the things today. And I think that this podcast is going to shake you up. It's going to trigger you. It's going to just, shake up the snow globe a little bit. And the more that you're triggered and the more that you get mad at me, I actually get excited for that, because that means that you're getting it. You're like, oh shit, I have a little bit more self-awareness today after listening to this bitch's podcast, because she is calling me out, because I am my own worst enemy. I am my own problem. The reason why I'm not happy and the reason why I'm stressed out and my cortisol levels are through the roof and I'm constantly in a state of fight or flight is not because of anyone or anything else. It's because of me. And you know how I always say that ambitches always take complete control of everything. So we don't play the victim. That's not how we roll. Okay. We don't play the victim. When we find ourselves playing the victim, we have to call ourselves to the carpet and say, okay, who is the one that's perpetuating this? And 9 times out of 10, it's you. And I'm going to talk about where it comes from, why you're addicted to this chaos, why you love the drama, why it keeps you in that, state of fight or flight, and why it's just as bad as being a heroin addict or an alcoholic. And I'm not trying to take those things lightly, because usually people who are addicted to drama and chaos also have addictive personalities, and they can get themselves caught up in other addictive things like alcohol, like sex addiction, like shopping, like gossip, just getting triggered. Like people even like to get triggered. It's an addiction. So I'm going to talk all about that today. And I'm also going to give you some really great ideas, some really concrete plans of how I personally got out of that chaos addiction drama loop, and I became a reformed drama queen. But before we start, I have 2 things that I want to drop on y'all today. The first thing is I want to read a 5-star review from iTunes. And if you go to Apple, if you listen on Apple, if you go to iTunes and you leave a 5-star written review, and I say it on the podcast, if you email me at help, HELP, at KBMFC, Katie Boyd's Misfit Club, so KBMFC.com, I will send you a beautiful thank you gift in the mail from yours truly. I will package it. I will do it all just as a big thank you for taking time out of your busy, ambitious life to give me some love. I don't get paid to do this podcast. I really just rely on all of my ambitches from all across the globe through word of mouth, through telling people how you really feel about the podcast, for tagging people on Instagram and Facebook. And, if you listen to a podcast and it's so good, you copy and paste the link and you send it to all your friends and you email it and you text it out and you talk about the Ambitchious Podcast at parties and get-togethers. That is how women across the globe are going to step deeper into their power. And the more women that wake the fuck up on this planet, the more beautiful and incredible the planet will be. Ambitchious truly is a movement. And I thank you, each and every one of you, from the bottom of my little black heart, for just taking time out of your lives to do this. So today we're going to read a 5-star review, and it's entitled Unreal Synchronicities, and it's from 444 Maggie. So Maggie, if you're listening to this podcast, please email me at help@kbmc.com so I can send you a beautiful thank you gift. She says, "No one has ever resonated with me the way Katie does. She's relatable, spiritual, and funny. She's the whole vibe. I want to be here when I glow. I want her to be, I want to be her when I glow up." I kept trying to say grow up, and I'm like, no, she wrote glow up. I want to be her when I glow up. This podcast is life-changing. You absolutely need to binge all of the episodes from day one. 444 Maggie, reach out to me, help@kbmc.com so I can send you your gift, and which is my absolute pleasure. Okay. The second thing I want to talk to you guys about is, as you guys know, just to keep me fresh, because it's all about being fresh. No one likes a burnt out bitch. Plus, when I work too much, I get like really shitty and I get not creative, and I don't want what I do to ever feel like a have to or an obligatory thing. My deepest desire is to always show up here each and every week with fresh content that's going to inspire you and educate you and empower you and just motivate you and get you so pumped up that you are ready to take on the motherfucking world. So what I've been doing the last couple years is I do 12 podcasts and then I take a month off. During that month, I do a lot of research. I talk to my friends. I talk to my colleagues. I talk to my coworkers and my clients, and I ask them like what they're going through. And then if there's like a consensus of like what's actually happening, I just feel like that's what we should talk about here on the podcast. So that is why I'm actually talking today about addiction to chaos and drama, because so many of the people that I've been talking to lately are just absolutely addicted to this shit. But in my 4 weeks of taking this time off, not only have I done all the research and podcasted and all that happy horse shit, but another thing that I did was I was in a meditation. And as you guys know, if you followed me for a really long time, you guys know this about me. If you're new here, welcome. And just so you guys know, I've been in the motivational wellness female empowerment business for 25 years. And I actually started in the wellness industry. I was the official coach for Miss Universe, Miss USA, Miss America. I trained everybody, the Patriots, cheerleaders, Celtics wives, Red Sox wives. Like that's what I did. I trained very high profile women for a really long time. And I've always had my gym, my wellness center, Katie Boyd's Misfit Club. And during the pandemic, we closed it down. And then I was really just in a chaotic mess during the pandemic, even though from a lot of the outside world would never think that about me, but it was a lot of chaos. And long story short, when we had to shut down my wellness center, I just doubled down on my app, which is so rewarding and such an incredible experience. But I really never thought I would ever open Katie Boyd's Misfit Club again. I just thought that part of my life was done. And I was in a meditation a couple weeks ago, and Spirit whispered to me and said, it's time to open up Katie Boyd's Misfit Club again. So what I've been doing, and if you're a local lady or local-ish, right, in the surrounding areas to Hudson, New Hampshire, I'm offering 1 month free of classes. We do all kinds of amazing classes at Katie Boyd's Misfit Club. We do somatic yoga. We do high intensity interval training. We do muscle building classes. We do kickboxing. We do breath work, sound healing, meditations, nutrition classes. We even have a couple times a month where you can bring your significant others to work out in the Pink Palace. It's just such an incredible thing. And I launched it last month, and we have had such a huge outpouring of women from all over coming to Katie Boyd's Misfit Club, doing their classes, changing their bodies, changing their physiology, getting healthy. And so my gift to each and every one of you here is two things. So obviously I know that I have listeners for, I think it's like over 60 something countries across the globe, which is so exciting and crazy to say that. So I know that everyone can get to Katie Boyd's Misfit Club in Hudson, New Hampshire. But what I'm doing is if you're local, I'm offering a free month of classes because I obviously want you to fall in love with my wellness center before you actually purchase a membership. But if you are not local, I'm offering you a free month of the Ambitchious app. Again, I just deeply desire for you to try the app before you buy it. It is a life-changing experience. Ask anyone who's ever, been on my app before, and all the community of the Bitchterhood over there, they love it. I mean, there's thousands of videos between breath work and meditations and sound healings and meal plans and detoxes. And I have my 12-week business course over there. My Ambitchious audiobook is over there. Ambitchious Academy is there. I also do live coaching 3 days a week over there. So if you maybe can't afford to coach with me one-on-one, but want that amazing service, the app is where it's at. And then what we're also doing is if you join Katie Boyd's Misfit Club, you also get the app as part of your experience, because all of the classes that we do at KBMFC are actually filmed and then shared on the app. So even if you don't live local to Katie Boyd's Misfit Club, you can still experience KBMFC as if, we're in your country or we're in your neck of the woods. So if you're interested in that, scroll down to the show notes. You're going to find the link for the free month, and you're going to find the link for the free month of Katie Boyd's Misfit Club as well. And if you have any questions, just email me at help@kbmfc.com, and I am more than happy to do that with you. And if you end up joining, you actually get a complimentary one-on-one with me where we go over your nutrition. I give you a customized meal plan, and we really get you strong and healthy. I weigh you, I measure you, I body fat test you. We set like really amazing, realistic goals, and I give you all the tools that you need in your toolbox to live your life ambitiously, especially wellness, because health is wealth, and it doesn't matter. Nothing else matters in the world if you're not healthy, period. So I'm really excited to announce that Katie Boyd's Misfit Club is back in action. And my gift to you is a free month of the app and a free month of Katie Boyd's Misfit Club. And like I said, if you're not local, you can definitely use the app. Take me up on my free offer for the month, and you will not regret it. It's going to be one of the most amazing experiences of your life. Okay. Are y'all ready? Whew, this is going to be crazy. So I have so many people around me who I love. I adore them. They're like the people who do my beauty. They are my family members. They're some of my best friends. They're clients. They're people who I deeply adore. And I hate to say it, but they're addicted to drama. And they are creating so much havoc in their lives. And it makes me sad to see these incredible, strong, beautiful, just educated, powerful women acting like foolish motherfucking bitches. And it's funny because over the weekend, every time I get my period, like right before I get my period, I just get so lethargic and I just get so like, blech. Just usually like 48 hours before I get my period, I just get like walloped. So what I do is, usually what I'll do is nest. So I'll clean my whole entire house like a psychopath, and I'll get everything in order. And then I'll just watch like really bad television for a couple days. And then I'll get my period and I feel like $1,000,000. It's just what I've always done. That's just, I have fibroids. They affect me so hard. And like, that's just what I do. And so over the weekend, I saw that Netflix had Sex and the City. They just had added like all of the Sex and the City to Netflix. And I was like, oh man, I haven't watched Sex and the City in so long. I used to love Sex and the City. I wanted to move to Manhattan. I wanted to be Carrie Bradshaw. I wanted to be Miranda. I wanted to be Charlotte. I wanted to be Samantha. I wanted to be all four of those women, all kind of curled up and rolled up into one. And so I started watching it, and I finished, this is so embarrassing to say, but I finished Sex and the City in like 2 days. And Matt actually came in and watched some of the episodes with me, and he's like, Katie, I can't watch this anymore. Like, he's like, I'm growing a clitoris. Like, this is too much for me. And I'm like, no, just stay with me. Just spend time with me. And he's like, but my clit is getting massively large. And I was like, okay, I get it. But he stayed and watched some of them. And it was funny because every time we were watching like a different episode, he's like, Katie, this is you. Like, This is you from the writing the book, the colors of Carrie's book, like all the parties, all the things that you would do, the drama with ex-boyfriends, the drama with friends, all of the bullshit. And I was like, at first I was kind of like, fuck you, dude. Who the fuck do you think you are talking to me like that? But then I really opened myself up to his 2 cents. And I was like, holy shit, like Sex in the City fucked my life up. And I know that some of you youngins that listen to the Ambitchious podcast are like, Katie, why are you talking about Sex in the City? Like, that is so fucking chuggy. But the truth of the matter is like, Sex in the City was like an iconic, epic thing for elder millennials. And I wanted to be those women. Like, I wanted to live that sexy, hardcore shopping, drama, sex lifestyle. And I ended up really actually doing that. But with that, if you watch Sex and the City, every fucking episode, there's so much drama. If Carrie Bradshaw's not in a fight with Big and fucking some other dude and getting into a fight with Big and cheating on Aiden with Big and then going back to Big and crying all the time and then ending up in Paris with the Russian and, you know, him friggin' not giving her the time of day, being a fucking narcissist, just like all this shit. And I was like, oh my God, like this is a learned behavior. So I started doing a lot of research over the weekend because I was like, okay, if I feel this way about drama and chaos and turbulence, then a lot of other people feel the same. I also have a couple people that work on me, like different beauty things of mine. And I have one girl in particular, I'm not going to say her name. Cause we actually talk about this all the time when she's working on me. And she's like, oh my God, you should do a podcast about like people who are addicted to drama. Cause I would always say to her, like when she would tell me the stories about like the guys that she was dating and stuff, she'd tell me these stories and they were like so chaotic and dramatic. And of course I love her and I think she's fucking hilarious. And she actually should have her own podcast. But I would say to her, you know, do you think that you're addicted to this? Like, because you kind of like it. And she was like, you know, I think I am. And I was like, well, where does that come from? Did you have a fucked up childhood? And she was like, no, I had like a really great childhood. Like my parents were awesome and my dad was great and blah, 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 blah. And as I got to know her better and we became closer, she actually said to me one day, she goes, you know, I was thinking a lot about it last time you came in and you know, to see me. And she was like, you know, I was thinking about my dad, I was thinking about my mom, and blah. She goes, I actually realized that like my dad acted a lot of ways like the guys that I'm dating. You know, he's dismissive. He is a drama queen. He starts a lot of shit. He would like be so mean and whatever. I don't remember everything she said, but I was like, huh. So I started doing a lot of research. She kind of sparked my attention on this. And I watched Sex and the City all weekend and I was like, holy fuck, no wonder why I was so fucked up. Cause I thought that's how you're supposed to live if you're a woman in the new millennia. Like it's not cool. Right. So most people, and I mean most, I'm not going to say many, I'm going to say most, okay? Because I think this is a pandemic in itself that's plaguing our whole entire world, especially if you're in the Western world, especially if you have social media, especially if you do have a little bit of money. I feel like this is a direct correlation. So many people find comfort in chaos. I know that sounds crazy, but if you're hearing what I'm saying right now and the hairs are standing up on the back of your neck, this is probably spirit being like, hey, bitch, wake the fuck up and listen to her. She's talking to you. So despite the seemingly contradictory idea of finding relief in disorder, how would you ever think like, oh, I find relief and I find fullness and I feel so comfortable when my life is just a fucking steaming bag of shit on someone's front doorstep. Okay. This lifestyle may seem perplexing to outsiders, which I don't know how many outsiders there are because mostly everyone is addicted to chaos and some kind of drama. The piece is seen as strange and unfamiliar for those who live in it every day. Unfortunately, this way of living can lead to self-sabotage. Okay. How many of you know right now that you are self-sabotaging all the fucking time? It can lead to drug addiction. It can lead to binge drinking, binge eating, binge shopping, any kind of thing that you take to the nth degree. Okay. And regardless, it makes it difficult to maintain healthy relationships and succeed at school and work and relationships and just like your life. Like you cannot get out of that hypnotic rhythm, that whirlpool of drama. Like once you get over one drama, the next drama just pops up like a whack-a-mole. So the first thing that we have to do is we have to understand the nature of the addiction to chaos. So chaos or drama addiction is a desire for irregular and disruptive circumstances. So you actually desire your life to be a chaotic mess. You want your husband to be a drunk and call you a fat pig and spend all your money. You want your boyfriend to cheat on you so that you can have this crazy, tumultuous fight and break up and this drama. And then all of a sudden you guys get back together and it's beautiful again. And you have this amazing sex and all is right with the world. I know you. I used to be you. Okay. And honestly, not to sidestep for a second, but when I first started dating Matt, he was so kind and sweet and loving and normal and protective and masculine that I actually was not attracted to him because I'm like, this is so fucking boring. I want you to punch me in the face. I want you to spit on me when we're having sex. I want you to call me every name in the book. I want you to abandon me. Like, that's what I wanted. I know it sounds crazy. And I know that a lot of you guys out there are like, holy shit, like this is fucked up. I do the same thing. But constantly pursuing chaos leads to violent changes, bad and poor decision-making, and instability to be the norm for those who are afflicted by this addiction. So here are some signs to watch for and identify this behavior. So the first thing is, right, is to say like, hi, I'm Katie. I'm addicted to chaos. I'm addicted to drama. The first thing is to, just like any other addiction, is to admit you have the problem, right? When you go to AA, you have to say like, hey, I'm so-and-so, I'm an alcoholic. That is the first step to outing yourself. Because then when you out yourself and you actually say, okay, I have this problem, then you can fix it. So number one is an incessant desire for drama. So the individual who has this total addiction to the chaos and the drama and the turbulence and all just the ups and the downs and that roller coaster of emotion, they desire conflict, and it is often involved in problematic situations. So it's involved in cheating, abandonment, physical abuse, mental abuse, emotional abuse, verbal abuse, okay? Narcissistic behavior, gaslighting, triangulation, like all of those things, okay? The next one is you actually avoid calm. Anyone who says to me, oh, I can't meditate, I'm like, oh, you love drama. Like, that's a red flag to me. If you know that you've had problems with like meditation and being calm and peaceful in the past, then at least you're open to it going forward, right? So you know you want to change. So avoidance of calm. People that are addicted to drama and chaos seem to struggle with calm environments. They feel uneasy and restless when things are not tense. Like, I would go on vacation and I would like pick fights with Matt because I was like, this is so boring. I can't just lay here all day and drink margaritas. Like, I can't. I have to fucking fight with you. And he would be like, dude, we're on vacation. Like, why are you doing this? And I would just, and I would be like, fuck you. I'm leaving. I'm out of here. And I would like run out of the hotel room and I'd be like, and he'd be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Or like, our home is so peaceful and I would like break dishes and start fights and do all this crazy shit to him. And he's like, what the fuck? Or I would abandon him. I would like get in a fight with him and I'm like, peace out, motherfucker. Like, I'm going to the Four Seasons for a weekend. Or I wouldn't even tell him where I was going. And because I had my own credit cards, he couldn't even like track where I was. So, and I would shut my phone off and I would just like try to fuck with him and make him feel pain because I was in so much pain. And I just wanted everyone else to feel the pain that I was feeling from whatever I was dealing with. And I also wanted him to prove to me that he would chase me and that he would love me, because that's what I learned growing up as a child. And I'm sure for a lot of you, you probably are like, yeah, me too. Absolutely. The next one is that unstable environments and relationships. They actively seek out chaotic relationships and circumstances. Like, if you are attracted to men that have like 7 different children from 7 different women, he doesn't pay child support. He shuts his phone off. He doesn't call you like when he says he's going to call you. He won't go. And I know this is so stupid, guys. This is like super queefy, but I know a lot of young people, like, they want you to be Facebook official. They want you to, on their, Snapchat, to post pictures of you out to dinner with that person or out to the club or on vacation or mini golf or whatever. And they just won't do it. And they make up all these excuses. And instead of being like, this is a red flag, you're like, yes, my pussy's so wet. Okay. You are actively seeking out these circumstances. And it's understandable that some individuals may feel a pull towards chaos and discord, regardless of the consequences. Like they don't give a shit about the long term. They don't care. They're just like, I want this dopamine, serotonin, fight or flight, cortisol, adrenaline rush right now. I don't give a fuck what happens down the road. And the desire for the instability can become all consuming and severely impact one's quality of life. So why are you addicted to chaos? So people often become addicted to chaos due to underlying psychological factors such as past traumas, right? Inner child healing, wounds from childhood, low self-esteem, low self-confidence, and fear of abandonment. That's usually where they come from. And these issues can lead to seeking excitement and chaos as a way to mask inner pain. It's like if you're in chaos all the time, you don't have to feel the way you really feel because you're just constantly going around the mulberry bush, fucking doing all the crazy shit. And instead of being like, you know what, I need to take a step back. I need to go and work with a healer. I need to go meditate. I need to touch some fucking grass. They want to keep themselves in that fucking merry-go-round of hell. And these issues, like I said, can lead to seeking excitement and chaos as a way to mask the inner pain. Additionally, growing up in chaotic environments, ding, 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 me, or experiencing fractured family dynamics can reinforce this addiction. Like me, I grew up where, you know, people would just fight and beat the shit out of each other and call each other names. And then like one of them would apologize to the other and then it would all go back like nothing happened the next day. And as a child, you think like, oh, that's what love is. Love is, you know, fighting, throwing shit at each other, breaking things in the home, beating the fuck out of each other, calling each other every name in the book. And then like the next day, the other person apologizes, or, you know, my dad would bring my mom flowers, or my mom would do something for my dad, and then everything would just go back to normal. So as a child, like you don't have that, your brain hasn't evolved yet to understand like this is bad. Even though as a child, like you kind of like have this feeling, at least for me, like I knew like this is fucked up, but it becomes so ingrained in the groove patterns in your brain that you just like, oh, this is just what happens. Like when you love someone, you do this to them. And when you don't get that as an adult, you think that the person doesn't love you. And that's like the furthest thing from the truth. So it's vital to be vigilant and aware of these signs to help someone before the chaos addiction deepens. Okay. So there's psychological elements first and foremost to this. So our minds are complex, as we all know, and have many facets, but sometimes they can develop patterns that are not beneficial for our well-being. Chaos addiction can be caused by various internal psychological aspects, such as, okay, number one is past traumas. Experiences from the past can significantly impact our behavior patterns and lead to a tendency towards chaotic situations. So if that's what you learned growing up, if your relationships as a young adult was chaotic and wild, then you're going to want that when you're an adult, even though you don't want it. So you don't want it on the outside, but on the inside, in the subconscious mind, that's what you want. That's what you think love is. That's what you crave. That's what makes you feel whole, and it makes you feel safe. I know that sounds crazy because you'd think that the chaos would make you feel unsafe. It's absolutely, you know, the opposite. It's almost like Stockholm syndrome, where people fall in love with their kidnappers or their people that like torture them. You know, that's a real thing. It's fucked up, but it happens. The next one is self-doubts. Insecurity and fear of abandonment can contribute to a harmful obsession with chaos. Like I would push Matt so hard to abandon me because I was like, well, he's going to do it to me anyways, because every man in my life has always done this to me. So of course, like, why don't I just speed up the process? Fucking crazy. The next one is low self-esteem. Individuals with low self-confidence may unconsciously be drawn to chaotic circumstances as a reflection of their internal struggles. Like my girlfriend who I was talking about that has the crazy boyfriend shit. She's so beautiful. She's so smart. She has so much to offer. She's a fucking hard worker. She's just amazing, right? And she'll tell me like some of the shit. She'll tell me some of the stuff about her boyfriend, and I'm like, girl, what is wrong with you? She's like, I don't even know. Like, he's not even hot. I love my conversations. She's like, he's not even hot. His dick doesn't get hard. Like, he has no money. He's got like 10 different kids, like whatever the fuck. And I'm like, and what do you exactly see in him? Because you're a fucking 10. and you're so smart. And I'm like, do you have fucking low self-esteem? And she's like, I don't think I do. She's like, I really love myself. But then I say to myself, if she really did, this wouldn't even be happening. Right. So that makes us all, not just her, but everyone that I talk to that has the same problem, and I talk to a lot of people that have this problem, is we have to take a step back and really be honest with ourselves and be like, I say I love myself and I say I have high self-esteem, but if I did, would I be putting up with this shit? No, not a fucking all. Now, the next one is the social and circumstantial elements of being addicted to chaos. So environment also plays a significant role in relapsing when everything is right. 100%. And some influential elements could include disrupted families. So obviously, I talk about this a lot on the podcast, and I have since 2018 here and before all the other things that I have ever created content-wise. I always talk about this. But disrupted families, growing up in an unstable home, can establish a habit of seeking chaos in life. 100%. Chaotic surroundings. Consistently living in unsafe environments can lead to a preference for disorder. And the last one is media influence. Exposure to media glorifying drama can influence certain individuals to seek similar circumstances. Like I said, when I was watching Sex and the City, I was like, my mouth was down around my tits because I was like, whoa, like I was trying to live like the Sex and the City girls, and they were not safe. They were not smart. Like, I know that looks sexy from the outside, but like I would never want to be those people, ever. Like Samantha just wanted to fuck everybody. She never wanted to fall in love. And like, if she ever felt love, she would like shut it right off and step into her masculine. And I did that. I was like, no one needs a fucking man. We don't need a man. And now I'm like in my, mid 40s. And I'm like, God, like, I think that sometimes, and I'm going to do a podcast about this, I think sometimes that feminism, like new wave feminism, like now is actually a scam. We as women have been fucking scammed, and new wave feminism is actually just robbing women more and more and more from all the things that we've worked so hard to fight against all these years. I'll talk about that on a different podcast. I don't want to get your fucking panties in a bunch, but it's true. So the role of addiction in chaos, this is the next thing I want to talk about. A dark aspect of being addicted to chaos is that it can lead to other harmful habits. This can complicate things as the addict may develop additional complications such as substance abuse or erratic behavior. These consequences further contribute to disaster in their life. Absolutely. And there's also a huge interconnection, like I was talking before, with chaos and drama and other addictions. So there's a strong link, and it's been proven psychologically in all these different, case studies, but there's a strong link between chaos and other disorders such as substance abuse and behavioral addictions. And these conditions tend to exacerbate each other, resulting in destructive cycle that leads to more abuse and anxiety. And I cannot tell you how many people that I've coached over the years that are addicted to drama, and then they're alcoholics, or they're binge eaters, or they're shopaholics, or, they're histrionic or whatever. So the first one is obviously substance abuse. So people might resort to substance use as a coping mechanism for their chaotic life. I know so many people who do this. They drive drunk. They do crazy shit. I'm like, what are you doing, man? If you don't fucking value your own life, don't fucking drive drunk and don't value other people's lives. It's not cool. And the next one is behavioral addiction. So shoplifting, gambling, sex addiction, binge eating, anything like that. And these behaviors might become compulsive extensions of the existing chaos. Okay. It's a coping mechanism. So the next thing I want to talk about is feeding into that chaos. So chaos addiction, drama queen addiction, tumultuousness, turbulence, any of those things can lead to adopting addictive behaviors as coping skills, coping mechanisms, or distractions from reality. So the number one is amplified turbulence. The presence of multiple vices can increase stress in various aspects of someone's life, including health, relationships, and even interactions with law enforcement. So if you're like addicted to chaos and you're like doing drugs and you're getting pulled over and you're going to jail, or you're binge drinking and you're driving drunk with your husband, or you're eating so much that you cause yourself to have type 2 diabetes or metabolic disease or whatever, like that is a fucking problem. I know some of you guys are like, oh, Katie, what's the big deal? I'm like, it is a fucking big deal because it's a domino effect that affects everything else in your life. And then people wonder like why they don't have healthy relationships, why they can't hold down a job, why they're in debt, why they have like chaotic homes and, all these different things going on in their lives. And they just feel totally out of control. Well, they're creating all of the drama themselves. And the next one is neglecting the real issues, the underlying issues. So focusing on dangerous habits can be a distraction, making it difficult to deal with the underlying issues that led to the turbulent lifestyle in the first place. So it's essential to understand that the complicated nature of addiction to chaos and how it frequently happens alongside other harmful habits. And the understanding can help recognize when extra support is necessary and importance of taking the first steps in your recovery, because this is recovery. It also impacts all the relationships in your life. Like I know for me, like when I was in that constant addiction to chaos, like I would fight with my friends all the time. I would have fights with clients all the time. I would fight with the guy that I was dating. I'd fight with my family. I always could do certain things really well. Like my business was always thriving. Like my home was always clean. Like I was always very much in order, but I think a lot of it was just like masking. Like if my house is clean and I look beautiful and I drive a Range Rover and I'm making millions of dollars a year, then like no one will really know that I'm just like a broken little bird. And I think for so many women out there, you can 100% say, yes, 100%, I am the same as you, Katie. And maybe you don't mask that way, you mask in different ways, but I don't care what it is, it's going to impact your relationships. And it's really important to recognize that addiction to chaos can have a huge ripple effect. Okay. And it doesn't just affect the person struggling, but it affects everyone that's closest to them, everyone that's in their inner sanctum and closest to the nucleus. And it can put such a strain on relationships. And I have a client who has a really abusive relationship with a significant other. And she's always like, oh, I'm staying with my husband because of my son. And I'm like, dude, your son is so fucking smart. He knows that you guys are more fucked up than soup sandwiches. And I bet he'd be excited and happy and blessed and overjoyed if you guys broke up or got a divorce. And you guys know me, like I am very old fashioned and I'm very conservative when it comes to marriage. And that's why it took me so long to get married, because I wanted to make sure that the person I married was going to be the best, perfect person for me. And that's why I didn't get married till I was like 34 years old. Because, I could have married other schmucks and putzes that I was with and it wouldn't have ended really well. And so I'm not like, yo, just divorce him. That's not who I am. But I mean, I have had clients for 10 years that are still talking about the same fucking shit over and over and over and over again. And I just get to the point where I'm just like, dude, I can't work with you anymore because this makes me feel sick when I listen to this, because I love you and I don't want to see you like this. So I have to self-preserve as a coach because I have hundreds of other clients that need me and they need me to be on point. So I will break up with clients if they don't want to do the work. So just throwing that out there. Okay. So what happens in these relationships? So number one is a constant state of upheaval, the consistent crisis and drama strains bonds that cause emotional exhaustion to others. So a lot of people like trauma bonding. They love the trauma bonding. And so many relationships are trauma bonded relationships. It also creates extreme trust issues. The unpredictability can cause mistrust, shaking the foundation of any relationship. And last but not least, impaired communication. The constant turmoil obstructs healthy communication, leading to misunderstandings and misinterpretations. I had a friend the other day who was saying like, her boyfriend came over to her house to take, like they were just like getting ready to go somewhere and he wanted to take a shower. And like a couple months ago, he had left like body wash in her shower and she ran out of body wash. So she started using his like Old Spice, whatever body wash. And he went in to take a shower and he goes, why is there a cap off my body wash? Like, have you had guys here? And she's like, no, I just ran out of my body wash. I've just been using yours because she's like moving or whatever. And she's like, I'll just get some new stuff when I move. And he fucking went psychotic on her. She was like, Katie, I was so upset. I was like dry heaving and I was like hysterically crying. And I was like, I couldn't breathe. And I was like, I cannot believe this is happening to me. And I'm like, oh my God, this is what happens. It's like constant trust, constant misunderstandings, constant misinterpretations, and just trauma bonding till people just get so emotionally exhausted that they just give up and they're just like, fuck it, I can't deal with this. And then that's why they stay in these relationships for so long. Okay, so how do we regain control? How do we manage this chaos addiction? How do we heal from this? I have some really good ideas. These are the things that I did for myself. Okay. So I'm not saying like, hey, you have to do all these things, but I'm just telling you that this is what I did for myself. Okay. So steps to regain the control. So number one is the acceptance of it. Acknowledging the presence of the addiction is the first step. Like I said before, like, hi, I'm Katie and I'm addicted to drama. Just say it out fucking loud. Okay. Just say it out loud. And this is the first vital step in healing this addiction. So just acceptance is number one. Number two is you have to do the work to understand the root cause. This is why it's so important that when you join the app or you join Katie Boyd's Misfit Club, we do a lot of shadow work and we do a lot of inner child healing and we do a lot of coaching through this drama addiction. And what are the root causes? Like, where in your childhood did this faulty programming begin? And then we slowly together start to unravel it and come up with new ideas to help gain control and help heal this addiction. So identifying what triggers your loved one or what triggers you, okay, depending on who's addicted to the chaos, and recognizing the root cause forms the base for your treatment, okay? The next one is to seek professional help. Now, I'm not a doctor. You guys know I only play one on television, but I am not, I'm going to just say this. I know a lot of you guys are going to come for me and I've done years of this, but I am not a huge proponent of therapy with a psychiatrist or a psychologist that makes you relive the trauma over and over and over again. I think that when you think constantly and perseverate about drama and trauma, I think it's like reopening a wound that's healing, ripping off the scab and reopening it over and over and over again. I just personally do better with spiritual work. I do better with the shadow work. I do better with the guided meditations for inner child healing. I do better with healing sessions with people who are incredible, healers energetically. That's what I like to do. But if you're like, yo, I think I have some real fucking hardcore shit that only a shrink can deal with, go find an amazing psychiatrist. But me personally, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm telling you this is what worked for me. And for me, it was seeking the professional help of a coach or a healer that deals with this stuff. And this is what I do. So we do a lot of this, like I said, on the app. We do a lot of this at our Bitchapaloozas, at our many events that we do. Again, I'm always here for you. Email me at help@kbmc.com if you want to set up a discovery call to see if working together in that way is going to work for you. But seek professional help. So therapists, healers, counselors can guide you through the transition from unpredictability to stability, because that's what you ultimately desire. And you have to know that it's going to take consistent effort. So you or the loved one in your life who has this drama addiction can make mistakes. And instead of letting them be consumed by the guilt of it, encourage them or encourage yourself to use those events that you've gone through as learning opportunities and to not go backwards and to not replay it over and over and over again, right? There's also incredible support groups. There's like the Ambitchious on the Ambitchious app or at KBMC are amazing. I'm sure there's other great support groups out there. There's amazing self-help books. And again, therapy is huge, 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 because what we want to do is we want to transform this chaos addiction to personal power, to wisdom, to being like, I used to be a drama queen. I used to be addicted to this and I'm not anymore. I don't desire to be anymore. Right. And chaos addiction, being a drama queen, being addicted to that turbulent, tumultuous energy, it's complex. It's very complex. And a lot of people who have this chaos addiction have complex post-traumatic stress disorder. They could have borderline personality disorder. They could have anxiety. They could be, high functioning autistic. They could have ADHD. There's a plethora of different things where most doctors, who deal with mental disorders could diagnose you as, but it is a real phenomena and it is significant. And, if you're going through this, how it has fucked up your life and has continued to fuck up your life. And that's why you don't have love. That's why you don't feel safe. That's why you're in a constant state of fight, freeze or fawn. That's why on the weekends, you don't want to talk to people. You bed rot. You watch Netflix all weekend like I did last weekend, right? Because you're in that constant loop of that trauma addiction. And when you heal from that, your world changes exponentially. It's almost like when I healed from my chaos addiction, it was almost like in The Wizard of Oz when Dorothy is in Kansas and it's like gray, and then she lands in Oz and it's like technicolor and everything is so beautiful and vibrant. Like that's the change that you're going to feel when you break away from this addiction and you find that personal empowerment. Because remember, no one can empower you. Everything that you need in your life is already inside of you. You just have to step into your power. You have to remember who you are. You have to know that you are creating most of your problems. And it doesn't matter. And this was a really hard pill for me to swallow. It doesn't matter what you went through in your life, but it's not your fault, but it is it is on your shoulders to fix it. It is your responsibility to heal from the things that happen to you. So you have really two choices in life. You can walk around as a victim in chaos, in turbulence, broke, fat, sick, tired, stressed out, aging, like unhappy, depressed, anxious, all the things. Or you can say, okay, I know I came from a fucked up childhood. I know my family was fucked up. I know I had all these horrible things happen in my life, but everything happens for a reason. I have to find what the reason is. And I have to learn from all of these past chaotic, turbulent experiences. And when you know better, you do better, right? So you're not alone in this. If you are like listening to this, and you're like, oh my God, Katie, I feel so seen right now. I never understood, or I always felt some sort of way, but I never really knew that I was truly addicted to drama. You can heal from this. I have healed from this. Now, every so often, I go back a little bit, okay? Because you just need that little hit sometimes, right? You need a little blow a line of chaos every so often, but I can pull myself out of it quicker, and I'm wiser. And I've done so much work around healing from this addiction. And so if you're listening to this and you're really ready to heal, reach out to me. I would love to help you. Even if you don't want to work with me one-on-one to heal it, even if you desire to be part of a community, that's great too. But if you're just going to live like this for the rest of your life, stop fucking complaining about it. No one wants to hear you complain. I don't care if you complain, and I don't care if you process your emotions and your feelings, if you're willing to do the work that it's going to take to heal from this addiction to drama and chaos and turbulence. But if you just want to hear yourself speak and you don't want to do the things it's going to take to ascend and evolve and to step into your power and be the HBIC of your drama-free life, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to talk to you. You're not my friend. You're not going to be in my inner circle, because to be part of my community and to be in my inner sanctum, and I know this is why I don't have a lot of friends, it's really hard to be friends with me because I have such high standards now, because I never had a motherfucking standard in my life. And I know it's difficult. I want to make it difficult for you to be in my circle, because I want to make sure that once you get there, that I can trust you and that you're bringing something beautiful to the table. So you have two choices. Either you say, yo, I know I have this problem. I understand where it comes from. I want to heal it. I'm going to do everything it takes. During the time I'm healing this, I might talk some shit. I might fall on my face. I might go 10 steps backwards, but that's okay, because I'm in a loving, non-judgmental relationship with a coach or a healer or a community. Or you just keep going down the path of the chaos and the drama and the tumultuousness and the turbulence, but you shut your fucking pie hole about it, because it's honestly sickening at this point. Like, I'm just so sick and fucking tired of everyone like creating their own trauma and creating their own drama and then blaming it on everyone else. When if you truly are ambitious and you are the HBIC, the head bitch in charge of your ambitious life, you take full radical responsibility for where you're at in your life, even if that means having to stop, drop, and roll and say, I'm a fucking asshole and I'm the one that's creating all the problems in my life. If not, shut the fuck up. Cool? All right. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys take me up on my offer for the free month of KBMFC or the free month of the app or the combo value meal of both of them together if you're a local gal. I cannot wait to help you heal. I cannot wait to go on this beautiful ride of just ascension and evolution and just becoming the head bitch in charge of your beautiful once in a lifetime life. Remember, guys, this is not a fucking dress rehearsal. This is the Broadway debut, baby. And you only have this one turn to call this life what it is. And I desire each and every one of you to know what you're doing and to live with purpose and power. And if not, this being ambitious is not for you. You know, it's okay to be mediocre. It's okay to be, a slug in a puddle. That's fine. But you will never, ever achieve more than you already have. That's it. Period. If you love this podcast or if you know a motherfucking drama queen, share this shit on your Facebook, share it on your Instagram, send it to all your friends, copy and paste the link and get it out to your people. And don't forget, if you're on Instagram, please tag me in it. If you're on Facebook, I'm back on Facebook, but it's Katie Babine. So find me, Katie Babine, on Facebook and friend me and tag me over there too. I would love to see you guys sharing the podcast. I appreciate you. Don't forget the 5-star review on Apple so you can get a beautiful gift. And in the meantime, you need anything, just email me at help@kbmfc.com. And in the meantime, don't forget to stay ambitious. And I will see you next Tuesday.